Stu, you can talk all you want about Donald Trump and his horrible criminal activity. You can talk about that all you want. But the climate crisis continues, okay? No matter what you try to distract people with, the climate crisis continues. And thank goodness, Campax, which is like Tampax, but it's not. It's just a little community action group that makes change happen, along with the Coal Action Network, the Rainforest Action Network, Reclaim Finance, Recommon, Reset, the Sierra Club, Stand Earth, the Sunrise Project, Waterkeeper Alliance, Public Citizen, Market Forces, Oil Change, Greenpeace. They all got together. Okay, they've all gotten together.
Market Forces? That's one of them?
Market Forces.
Okay.
What are you?
Because that sounds like something completely different. Maybe that
your money is a force for good. Okay. That's what it is. Market forces. We're going to force the market to do good.
Okay.
Or something like that.
Okay.
They just issued this, and this has not broken. It's my understanding that either today or tomorrow this will start coming out, but it's not supposed to be seen yet, is my understanding, and it is coming to the CEOs of 30 major insurers. If you're an insurer and you are insuring fossil fuels, why, let me tell you, they're on to you. Dear CEO, very personal. The global climate crisis continues to escalate, and many have already crossed irreversible tipping points. Well, then, let's party. World leaders have committed to limiting climate change to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Even half a degree beyond this would be significantly worse. Drought, floods, extreme heat, poverty for hundreds of millions of people. Climate scientists at the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change have warned this. Fossil fuels emissions are primary cause of climate change. Governments, businesses, and other actors all need to urgently scale up their efforts to avert unimaginable climate breakdown. Insurers, you are society's risk managers, and you have a special responsibility to act, and you have the power to drive change. Without insurance, new fossil fuel projects cannot go ahead, and existing ones cannot operate. Okay, so it goes on. Insurance companies are like, "Hey, I'm trying to work with the companies," and they're saying, "You don't work with them." Okay, it's the hottest time on record right now. In recent years, the insurance agencies and industry has taken a series of steps to accelerate the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energy sources, albeit with notable exceptions. Since 2017, at least 41 insurers have adopted restrictions on underwriting coal, 22 on tar sands, and 13 on conventional gas and oil. But numerous loopholes in policies and standards allow insurers to continue underwriting the expansion of fossil fuel production. Several oil and gas policies restrict cover for exploration, but not the development of expanded production. Others restrict cover for upstream projects, but not midstream or downstream infrastructure, which, if built, will lock in expanded oil and gas production for decades to come. Many insurers will argue they're actively engaging, but it is not enough. In line with the scientific consensus and appeals from the UN Secretary General, not just the General, but the Secretary General at the UN, the undersigned organizations, all those crap heaps that I read to you a minute, of the Insure Our Future campaign call on you to take the following steps. Now, these are their demands. 1, immediately cease insuring all new expanded coal, oil, and gas projects. That sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh,
Still,
yeah. Get it going. Fire it up.
2, immediately stop insuring any new customers from the fossil fuel sector which are not aligned with the 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway. Stop offering any insurance services which support the expansion of coal, oil, gas production at existing customers. Within 2 years, phase out all insurance services for existing fossil fuel company customers who are not aligned. Immediately divest, this is demand number 3, immediately divest all assets, including assets managed for third parties from coal, oil, gas companies. So you got to get rid of everything you have unless you're part of ESG, which, by the way, I want you to know, I just point out, is a conspiracy theory. By July 2023, that's this coming July, define and adopt binding targets for reducing your insured emissions. Immediately establish and adopt as policy robust due diligence and verification mechanisms to ensure clients fully respect and observe all human rights, including except for China, including the requirement that they obtain and document the free, prior, and informed consent of impacted indigenous peoples as articulated in the UN Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Immediately bring stewardship activities, membership of trade associations, and public positions as shareholder and corporate citizens in line with a credible 1.5 degrees Celsius pathway in a transparent way. These policies should be applied by both insurance and reinsurance companies at the group level. Reinsurance companies should apply the policies to direct, facilitate, and treat businesses. As always, your response to this letter will serve as the basis of our annual scorecard report on insurance, fossil fuels, and the climate emergency. Our scoring partner, Reclaim Finance, will send a questionnaire with specific questions to your sustainability staff in the coming months. We ask you to respond to our letter using the questionnaire by July 15, 23. Companies should be rewarded for showing climate leadership, and those delaying the transition from fossil fuels must be exposed. Based on your response, we will share the findings of our report with the media, insurance employees, prospective employees, shareholders, ESG raters, index providers, regulators, and other interested actors. 2023 is the year of reckoning. No more baby steps. No more excuses. No more greenwashing. We hope we can count you among the climate leaders at this critical moment.
I mean, that's incredible. So they're saying not only would like an insurance company be responsible for their own climate footprint, if they chose to insure a company that had a poor climate footprint, that would bounce back on them and hurt their business. And this is all coming not from government sources, but from private sources. So, I mean, I don't know how you'd even describe a system like this. It's like a grand reboot.
Something like that.
Something like a grand reboot.
A great reboot. That'll be confusing, though. Anytime you say boot in Canada, it gets confusing. You don't know.
Right.
So maybe a grand reset. Grand reset.
The really, really, really big adjustment.
Okay.
You know, maybe something.
But that's
that
a conspiracy theory, Stu.
Oh,
the
yeah.
ESG, where you can't do business with people and you'll be held responsible by the government and other companies if you don't play ball with these terrorists. That's what that is. That's a terrorist threat. Those were, in their words, demands. Those are their demands. And we will expose you, which is not exposure. They're not exposing anybody. All those things are legal for them to do. All of the things they say you can't do are legal for that company to do. But we're going to expose you. In other words, we're going to turn the machinery of public-private partnerships against you and run you out of business. Well, that sounds like democracy to me.
And you said this 100 times, Glenn, but to reiterate it once more, it's not just about the E. The E is really, really visible here, right? Like it's the easiest one to look at. This is a straight about climate action and all of this, but you go down that list and you start understanding that this is also about guns. It's also about trans issues. It's also, I mean, as you pointed out, every single aspect of what you think of the far left AOC progressive agenda is being targeted through the same attack plan. And it's working on a lot of these companies.
So I have good news from Florida. The bill that we've been working for and hoping for on ESG, a bill that actually takes on the banks, protects individuals while dealing with pensions and government contracts, has passed the Florida House. The sponsor of the bill was in Dallas last year at our ESG conference that we had here at the American Journey Experience. It is already passed through multiple committees in the Senate. It is being heard by its last committee, according to the schedule online. Should have started just about half an hour ago. If it passes, it will be the first time a truly effective ESG becomes law anywhere in America. The bills have been killed by lobbyists and establishment Republicans and our friends at other think tanks, Heritage Foundation. We're going to have a conversation, Heritage Foundation, on the air next week because, we'll have it next week. This is the first one, and it should be spread everywhere.